Uh, New angles, which means new angles to come from. Speaking of angling my fishing pole down to find some trout, sniff, sniff. So, deep thought. Well, not really deep, depending on your perspective. Or you can flush this one down the toilet, no pun intended. Already on a roll. Um, so yesterday, I was committing an act that I would say the average person commits about 3 or 4 times a week, and that is the old adage, probably one of the most common things done in human history other than giving birth, and that is doing double P's at the same time, and that is pee and poo. Both three-letter words if you don't want to finish the, words in the English dictionary. But poo and pee. And it got me to thinking. I was sitting on a toilet and I was doing the do. Don't question the fact that I could pee while sitting down. It's called double tasking. It's called being efficient. Your boy's a busy man. I don't have time to be worried about perfection or perception when the door's locked and no one's going to walk in anyways unless you're at a Dunkin', which I was, but I've been to Dunkin' where I've been walked in 3 fucking times where someone has walked in on me with, let's just say, my pants down and my wee-wee in plain sight. But anyways, so I got to thinking, and you would think as someone who's been on this earth 26 plus years in society, it's definitely something that's probably slipped my mind, but I've just kept it moving. I'm not a bodily expert function, and I probably should have looked this up. I'm a curious guy who doesn't care to really find out why the curiosity killed the cat. I don't think curiosity kills the cat. Never understood that saying because I do feel like cats just kind of make bad judgment calls. They're smart animals, but somehow they're always dead on the road. Not exactly brilliant, but why? Now to the cold open. How come I can clench my cheeks and hold in my poop, and I can pee, but I can't poop and hold in my pee? Because even if you try, a little incidental dribble is going to come out. The next thing you know, it's going to just come out in spurts. Like when you're going through a real dark session. But yeah. And it's weird because when you really break down what you're doing when you're holding in your poop and you're holding in your pee, as far as I know, it's kind of like that back butt clench thing. It's the same thing I use. I don't know. Because your dick isn't just a loose, it's not just a, loose used car sells little flapping thing. It's a function that's attached to other functions. That's why you feel a little tingle when you let go of the thing that makes it tingle. But yeah. That's why if you pre-workout, you gotta watch out for that beta-alanine. That's what makes your booty tingle. Fun fact. But yeah, welcome to episode 102 of the Often Beat podcast. And I'm your host, Clint. And as you could tell, new angle, but really it's just an old angle that I'm bringing back. I feel like I'm more comfortable in this setting. And speaking of being comfortable in settings, going to parties, or let's just call them light get-togethers at apartment complexes or small houses of people who are way out of their depth financially, and they know they're going to only live there for 9 months before they get kicked out, and then they're going to be living in a Ramada Inn for 2 weeks before they swallow their pride and move back in with their uncle because their parents won't allow them back in because their parents are like, no, fuck you. You said you would never need us again, and you said we were the worst things that ever happened in your life, and you directly told us that you were going to be better without us. And you know what? So far, 9 months in, our experiment is correct. You are a piece of shit, my son. So, enjoy your Malibu. Is it rum? Yeah, enjoy your Malibu fucking rum. But anyways, it's weird to go to these get-togethers when you only know one person and there's 18 other people that you don't know. And you're relying on the fact that that one person you do know is going to ease you in, kind of like grease the doors open for you, unbutton, open your mouth, come in my mouth, give me 60 million and call her daddy. But that's, you can't just go around introducing yourself like that. You got to have, the aforementioned wingman, but not even in a setting where you're trying to get with the ladies, just to get yourself comfortable going in their kitchen and grabbing a few boneless chicken wings. Because it's always weird when you're in a stranger's place and you only know one person, and that one person only applies to 6% of the ratio of the people that are there, and you definitely know you're the complete outcast of everyone, because everyone kind of knows each other. Everyone has at least, gone to a hibachi place together accidentally. Well, they were a group of 9 people, of people who split the bill evenly. By the way, if you have a group of 10 fucking people and you split the bill 10 fucking ways, honestly, I hope you get, for your tubes, your woobs, I hope you get your nutsack cut in half. Because the fact that you would try to get the precise cent amount, not even split it 9 ways evenly, because I understand there's always that one person that gets like $58 of food, and then you can't have the ratio where someone just got $14 and then spread it evenly and everyone pays the same $29. That's not really right. But if everyone relatively gets the fucking same shit, just split it 10. Shove the couple dollars up your ass and just say you had a good time. All right. Don't be like, oh, I got water. I'm not paying for your $3.20 sweet tea that you got 8 refills on, so you definitely got your money's worth, but I got water. I'm not paying for that. And I get it. Don't pay for something that's not yours. But if you were going to go to big group settings, you got to be ready to pay a little bit. But yeah, just don't be that one, get the precise cent amount, and then you do all that trouble and you tip like 7% because you assume everyone else is going to pick up the slack because you're a cheap fuck. I don't know how that works. I think most people, when it comes to splitting the bill 9 fucking ways, I think everyone tips a lot less than they normally would, because it's like, well, everyone else is going to tip a decent amount, so I don't need to give too much. Because for 9 people, one table, if we all tip $10, that means they're going to get a $90 tip. And they're not worthy of that, which is kind of a weird thing to say, that someone's not worthy of something that particular to you. Well, you know what? Just for going through the trouble of splitting your bill, I don't know if you've ever worked at a fucking waiter place or a place where you have to split multiple people or multiple people's orders. And then at the end, like, hey, by the way, can you split that evenly in Foursquare? It's like, that sounds easy, but at the same time, then I have to retype everything that's particular to you. You gotta remember exactly what you fucking got. Oh wait, did he get an extra side of ranch? I got charged him for that. Wait, did he get the alcoholic drink? I don't remember. I don't fucking know. But stop being difficult fucks going out. But whatever. Anyways, yeah, when you're in these environments of being in these excluded places where you were kind of invited third party, and you're just like, what's up? You don't want to be the guy that just walks past people and sit down. But you also don't want to be the overzealous guy that, it's like, what's up, everybody? All right, let's have a great time. Let's dap, 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 slap, 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 boop, boop, boop. Next thing you know, I'm tapping Melanie. Gotta love the Melanies out there because they're melanin skin. Wow, that was a terrible pun. But a nup of that, if you reverse pun, a nup. Kind of like pre. Come and nup. Oh, but you never get it back. You never get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Anyways, but yeah, how do you deal with when you are in those settings and you're just like, cool, this is nice. I don't know anyone here, so I gotta ask, what's your name? Then you gotta pretend that you give a fuck what they want to do with their life. It's like, look, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care that you're an aspiring engineer because, I don't even think you know what an engineer is. Or, oh, I don't care that I'm not even kidding. One time told me they were an aspiring poet. And here's the thing. You could tell someone you're an aspiring author, writer, and shit. And there is evidence of, there are examples where you can make a lot of fucking money doing it. I don't like, honestly, being a poet, I don't understand the business or the logic of making money in that. Unless you're saying musician, like, nah, I just want to rhyme some ambiguous words in a deeper state. And most time, actually, nowadays, it didn't even have to rhyme. I know a thing or two about that. These are the effortless flows that controlling me. That's not the words, but you get the point. But yeah, then you got to go around while they're picking up their anitizers, while they're, taking hits of their aforementioned vape pens. And they're like, hey, what are you? And then like, yeah, this is what I do. I work here. My passions are this. And they're like, that's crazy. Why would you do both? You can't do both. It's like, well, I guess I do. And they're like, oh, so you don't like go and do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, it's called, I have a job, responsibilities. All my free time is dedicated to my passions. I do a podcast. Go give it a listen. Which I didn't tell anyone here to give my podcast a listen, because I don't know if I would even want them, to be honest, because I know I'll talk about them. And I'm all about talking behind people's backs, right, bestie? She's my best friend, as Jack Harlow and Chris Brown would say. CB when I was chucking up the deuces. I just now get that fucking reference on You Only Live Twice by Drake, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne. I just got the reference. I thought CB, he was referring to like some producer from '09, like Chuck D or, whatever. But no, he's talking about Chris Brown, chucking up the deuces. Your shit was boo-boo. Excuses. And all these people's excuses were complete boo-boo. They're always saying, yeah, I'm not even kidding. This one girl said, if my boyfriend was more supportive, which I don't know why. People were really open, being really comfortable speaking about personal things that no one asked for, that you should probably keep in the house. No pun intended. And I think she actually was like living there part-time. But she was just openly, while her boyfriend was in the living room having a beer and, doing coke, eating ass, blah, blah, blah. She was sitting there and just like, yeah, he's not really supportive. He's not really supportive of what I want to do. But hey, we got to do what we got to do. He wants a family one day. I'm like, whoa, why are you telling me this? I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. It's not someone you don't trust secrets with someone that's holding a fucking Mountain Dew. Unless it's Code Red, because pull the alarm. Code Red. No one actually knows what Code Red means. I guess it just means alert, and alert. She was definitely trying to get it. Not gonna lie to you. And she was expecting me to be like, that's a shame. You should never be with someone that doesn't support you or doesn't uplift your dreams and doesn't make you want to go towards it. But I was just like, well, everyone's got their reasons. And that's exactly what I said. Looked her dead in the eyes. And she just nodded her head awkwardly, took a hit of her cotton candy vape, vaped in my face, said, fuck your asthma. And I said, woo. Then my ears popped. And I was like, wow, this is what being on an airplane feels like. And I'm not talking about the movies where there's a lot of slapstick humor, because I want to slap a stick on my dick and say, ha ha, you're the joke of this. Damn it, you're the butt of this joke. Is it nip it in the bud or nip it in the butt? I was listening to a podcast, and there was a big bit through it. Do you nip in the bud or nip in the butt? I don't even know what nipping is, unless you're talking about cheese nips, because I always laugh at cheese nip jokes. Nips. Oh, sucking on her titties, because they always make me laugh and smile, and then that's how she know I was here for the long while. But yeah, reminds me of IHOP, International House of Pussycat Dolls, because I will stick with you. And this conversation with her, I was not for it. She vaped right in my face, and I just, having a little C&D here, hashtag COVID nasal drip, which is, I believe the after effects of having COVID, which I probably had at one point in time. I've been dripping in my left nose for a while. I guess you say I'm just, drip Bayless, because I always got the hot takes for the hot ladies. She wasn't one of them, so it's cool. But anyways, but yeah, then she just kind of, cool, well, it's nice to see you. Hope you have a good time. And I was like, if there was more room, I would. And so I went to go take a massive shit because I was holding it in because I didn't want to just enter, take a shit. And by the way, they had no dry toilet paper. I mean, not toilet. They had no dry toilet paper. Why was I correcting myself? Always correct myself when I'm already right, but not when I'm wrong because facts overrated. By the way, Neil Young bitching about whatever on Spotify. All I gotta say is I can't remember the last time someone was like, you know what this needs? You know what no one at the party was like? Hey, put some fucking Neil Young on. It's like, nah, not exactly the vibe of the party. I don't know. Maybe I like some, third great grandmother's house in the middle of fucking Macon, Georgia. I don't fucking know. Maybe she's like, Barry, Neil Young. Oh, because, when I play a game of spades, when they always ask, how much you want to book? I say Neil, because I'm in my younger days. Oh, the youth. Yeah, so I was walking around the vicinity. Every apartment kitchen these days pretty much looks the same. Any apartment where you're paying anywhere from like $900 to $1,400 a month, it's all the fucking same. You have the same whirlpool. I will say microwaves in these apartments, pretty high standard. Fridges, okay, except when they don't want to actually, stay cold during the day. And when you have a smart rent lock and it locks you out, it's almost like you're locked out of heaven when it's 30 fucking degrees outside of 1 a.m. when you just worked 7 fucking hours. It's cool though. Fuck me. But yeah, so I already knew where the cups are, because everyone puts cups in the same fucking cupboard. Everyone puts plates in the same fucking cupboard. So like, grab a plate, help yourself. Even though I was a little late, so I just basically went to go fuck myself. Like, gave me this dry ass fucking chicken tenders. They just basically had like the freezer section, basically like Super Bowl appetizers, but lower quality than that. They wouldn't even get like name brand, and I'm not a name brand aficionado, but it's one thing to have like a couple things that are off brand. You can't have the whole layout be market fresh Walmart fucking brand. If you're gonna go off brand, you have to go Publix or even Kroger. People that specialize in grocery store fake food to save you a couple bucks. Not fucking Walmart. Are you fucking kidding me? That's cool though. Gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know the budget. Maybe you have a family with a discount there. Maybe you have a step brother that works at Walmart and he gets you 15% off the diapers that, you put on your boyfriend, because he's certainly shitting the bed. But yeah, so helped myself, went to sit down, just mix it in, not being too pressured, but being involved, just kind of nodding along. These people were playing the game of, ironically, like the previous episodes talking about Monopoly. I don't know what's with the deal of playing long form board games at like a get together party. It wasn't a party, it was just a get together. And they're playing fucking Monopoly. Like, so you'll skip, class to, you'll skip math and economics class, but you'll play Monopoly. It's cool, makes sense. You only pay $8,000 a fucking semester. Why do that when you could just go home and tell Jeremiah, hey, I just passed go, $200, you fucking banker. Yeah, no matter how much you tell her, the bank teller. Oh Jesus, I'm a big fan of Union. It's funny every time I enter to a Kroger. It's funny how they emphasize join the union. But it seems like all these companies don't like unions. I don't know. Find it interesting. But yeah. It was okay. It was a nice get together. Nothing special. I know I just talked essentially 20 minutes. Well, 18 after the peeing and pooping about something that's not that interesting. But you know what? I thought it was necessary because it seems there's very little effort to put into things these days. You know, here was my bigger, I guess, thing is I'm not socially inept, but I sure like to make it interesting. When you're the outcast type of thing, even when you are the third most attractive guy there out of 9. 3 for 9. Just gotta say, no homo. Not that I'm grading the other two, but it just comes from body definition and, this guy actually was dating a model. No fucking joke. Cool dude. Actually, one of the nicer dudes I've met in a while. He's like, hey man, it could happen for you too. And I'm like, no, I mean, you don't know if I've dated a model. And he just patted me on the shoulder and he's like, I was you once. And I'm like, no, you weren't. He's like, no, I wasn't. But I like your style. But yeah. It was criminal. They had one condiment in the fucking fridge. And I don't think they were new move-ins. I think they've at least lived there a few months. They had a couch. They had a rug. Yeah, they had a fucking rug already in the fucking living room. You don't have a rug under your couch in the living room unless you have at least lived there 2 months. Minimum. It's not one of the first things you do in your first place of living. Shit, I'm in like my 4th place of living. And I don't have a fucking rug anywhere. Except, rug matching the drapes. Which they actually don't. If you get my drift. But yeah. That's why you shark vacuum. Because little fins. Because I always finish. Oh, Jesus. What a Danish motherfucker. But yeah. Cheese, bitch. Cheese. Yeah, you don't have a fucking rug. Especially when it's like Egyptian powdered. With like a pharaoh on it. And they had a, 40, not the grandest of TVs, but I'm in no place to judge. It was a Vizio. They had a TV. They obviously put time in the setup. And yet, you have one fucking condiment. It's like, okay, you know what? If I got to use the same condiment for the boneless chicken wings, from honey barbecue, the buffalo, to plain, the lemon pepper, whatever. There are certain condiments that are one size fits all. They can work for anything. For example, ranch works for anything. Yum yum sauce, surprise, works. Barbecue sauce for the most part. Honey mustard has its limitations, but you can justify to yourself to help you sleep at night. But no. They had fucking mustard. Not ketchup. Ketchup would be egregious. I could justify the lemon pepper, the chicken tenders on the fucking mustard. Not only the least appreciated, it is honestly one of the most disrespectful things. You cannot just have mustard. And I'm not trying to go on a food rant here, but what I will say is, honestly, if I was a landlord and I did an inspection on your place and everything was spot clean, and there were, if you did rain them every 2 months, or these people doing drugs, or these people hazard, and I opened up your fridge and I saw a bottle of fucking French's mustard and nothing else that could reasonably go on, you can't have a group setting. I understand. You know what? I'll even give you benefit of doubt. I'm not going to judge your personal life, but maybe you're not someone that does these type of chicken trays and appetizers and fucking finger food where you dip it in shit on a daily basis. Perfectly reasonable. But if you are going to have a get together of platters and things to where you throw in the oven on fucking aluminum foil and you had to get cooking spray, it's not far from the cooking spray. Literally in aisle 2, universal, no matter where you fucking get shit, is fucking condiments. Multiple types. They even have ranch, ketchup and ranch. You couldn't compromise if you can't pick one. They have mayo chup. It's a little questionable. I wouldn't dip everything, but if it's there, it's there. But no. Mustard. You know what they should have been playing instead of fucking Monopoly? Clue. Because one, they don't have any, and Colonel Mustard would have a thing or two to pitch, bitch, and throw you off the seaboard. What the fuck is a colonel? Why is he a colonel? Is he a colonel? Like what is the KFC guy? Why is he called a colonel? He wears a fucking black bow tie with a white outfit. I mean, that's like kind of plantation owners. Just throwing that out there. But when I think of colonel, I think of military. There's nothing about, colonel, the chicken colonel. Is that his name? The KFC guy? The colonel? Whatever his fucking name is. There's nothing about him that I think of. I think this guy was in the Vietnam War. Nothing about him. Now, sometimes you run into people and you're surprised, like, yeah, actually, I served 4 years in the Air Force. And you're like, wow, not gonna lie. I was a bit surprised, but thank you for your service. But Colonel Mustard. There's nothing about Colonel Mustard and the Colonel for KFC where you're like, man, these people have done some time for us. They have served. Maybe they have. I don't know the backstory of Colonel Mustard. I've seen the movie Clue. It's been a while. In case you're like, Blues Clues, Blues Clues. And then I'm literally sitting in my thinking chair to think, and I can't. But you know what? Even Colonel Mustard, he would be like, you gotta at least get some honey mustard in this fucking bitch. No, they had plain yellow fucking mustard. I'm not there to start a war, but hey, if you were going to get items for a group of people, now if it's just you and your girl, and you guys are mustard freaks, I don't know anyone that's a mustard freaks. You don't see anyone with extreme fucking hoarding of mustard. You don't see, what's that fucking show where they're like, they have weird issues where they're like, they eat fucking like hand lotion and eat it like it's fucking, chips and dip and put it in their mouth type of shit. Or where they're sitting there and just like they like eat dust or some weird shit. Or like they take the dirty fucking fabric that they just vacuumed up. The stuff that you're supposed to pour in the garbage after you vacuum. They pull the thing out, Dirt Devil, and they eat it. Or they put it in a smoothie. Like, you don't even see that with fucking mustard. I don't know, man. Just a thought. So basically, I told you 24-minute situation to get to the point that all they had was mustard. And I have mustard, and I have definitely relished the opportunity here. God damn, I love these angles. It makes my chin move. By the way, there's no better compliment than an unexpected, your face is thinning. It's like, man, because, this is just shout out to a coworker of mine, Sherrod. When I started there, we were in the same orientation group. This is a positive story, so I'm not shitting on a coworker because I would never do that on him. But Sherrod, worked together for about maybe a month and a little over a month. We start working at our jobs. The next thing you know, he kind of just disappeared, and I kind of knew it was a temporary thing. Cool dude. The next thing you know, yesterday, recording this on Thursday night, January 27th at 11:02 p.m. On the ball. And, I was going to clock out and I see he's like, my man. And I'm like, what's up? It's like, I thought you quit. He's like, nah, I just left for a little bit. Cool. He's like, he looked me up and down. He's like, okay, I see you. You getting thin. You looking good. And I was like, not that I was fat. But man, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started the job, I was a Destiny's Child. I couldn't keep up because baby boy, I was losing my breath. That's India will love that. Gotta love the Destiny's Child references. Can you keep up, baby boy? I lose my breath. Sounds like a movie off. It sounds like a song that would be like on Undercover Brother, but it wasn't. Missed opportunity. Probably cost too much money for them to put that on there. Can you keep up? The answer was no. I could not keep up. Quite the opposite. I was actually falling behind. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. The first like 2 or 3 days. But I remember the first full day I worked my job. I worked like 5 hours. And it was nonstop move. I got in my car. I remember I walked to my car, sat in my car. And I just sat there looking through my windshield. And I had one of those life moments like, Jesus, I don't think I'm coming back tomorrow. And then I remind like, why do you work here? Oh, because if I don't come back to work tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, I'm not going to have that much money or any. So you know what? I came back the next day, and after about a week or two, your body gets adjusted to what you're doing. And after a while, it doesn't even seem like you realize like, oh, it's just more, it's kind of like a reminder like, oh, you know what? All your problems are typically temporary. And all my life, I didn't even turn on my car for like 15 minutes. Like, sometimes, like, everyone will have those days. You can just get in your car after whatever day of work, whatever bullshit happened. You're like, what the fuck? Like, your body's tired, your mind's, you're worn out, you have a headache, you're dehydrated, you want to come in your own ass and say, fuck, not again. But it's just about getting through that first initial push. Once you do that, it's like giving birth every day. The more you give birth, the less it hurts. That's how giving birth is. I'm pretty sure if you ask someone that's had kids 7 times, like, by the 7th time, it just feels like, craving box Taco Bell shit, with when the soda's not carbonated. Because it just, you see right through me. How do you do that shit? Well, I pee with it, soften the blow. Splash, I guess that's what they mean by Splash Mountain. Wet and wild, wet and wild. And you probably get a yeast infection. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to sound ignorant. Going back to the peeing and pooping thing, I just thought about this. I don't know how it works for women, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But you know what? I'm assuming you probably have better control because you're always sitting down anyways when you're doing the do. And maybe it's like adaptable nature where because we stand the pee 90% of the time, we just there's a way I don't know, maybe it's harder for a woman. I don't know. But anyways, but yeah. That was the story of my life. But yeah, it was nice to see, shout out to good old pal of mine. I don't know, I wouldn't say good old pal. It's not like I have his number or anything. I don't know his fucking last name. But when I see him, it's always smile, energetic. All right, here's what I'll go on. There is something about infectious energy. And I think he's a great example, but I think we've all worked with people or been around people where they just, you may go in the work. Here's typical what I notice. Side note, any day I go in the work thinking today's going to be a great day. Never is. It's always some bullshit. It's always whatever. And every day I think like this day's going to be some bullshit. It ends up just being a little less bullshit than I thought it would be. There was a pattern here. It's a lot of bullshit. Oh, good times. But nah, typically the day 98% of the time, whatever you go in with thinking, it's not. Because think about it, you go into something with high expectations, you're bound to be disappointed because you think there's a 98% chance today's going to be good. That means there's only a 2% chance that actually really happens. Or that there's only a 2% chance that it exceeds that expectation. But if you go into something, you're dehydrated, your mom told you you're fat, your dad wants to kill you, your sister wants to punch you in the face, and, you blown the gasket in your car, you know what? You're going in with the attitude, bullshit. You're 15, there's a 8% chance your day is going to be good. That means there's a 92% chance you exceed expectations. And everything is just about a baseline, your upbringing, your baseline of where you're coming from, of what you're relating it to. Which means your day is going to be at least not as bad as you think it's going to be. And when you go into those days, it always seems things work out where you work with the right people or you run into someone that you see a couple times a week and they always wave. Something as simple as a wave to someone or just smiling at someone, asking the stranger you work with how their day is. How are you today? That shit does go a long way. not just with me. It's something I apply to people, and I can see their mood change. Not that everyone, let's get together and let's make today at blah 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 a day to remember. Because hey, darling, I hope you're good tonight. Because once you leave here, I'll be right outside ready to pick you up. Because I know where your car is. You always park in the backside. And that's where I like to get her done. But yeah, blue collar comedy tour. And blue collar jobs require blue collar mentality. But yeah, nothing like when a job tells you stresses every day. Come in at this time. Come in 15 minutes early than the actual time you're actually required to be there. So then everyone starts doing that. And then now that when we show up 15 minutes early, they tell us not to clock in until the fucking time you're actually supposed to begin with. So we do all that stress. We get bitched at on days that we show up. And on the days we do show up when we're supposed to, they say, nah, fuck you. You're not getting that 15 minutes of pay. Okay. We'll just go fuck ourselves. It's cool, though. Side note. Anyways, getting a little too... let's pump the brakes here, Clint. It's supposed to be a positive pod. HIV or aid. Let me aid to your visa. Because the credit when the credit is due. We only got 16 digits to save the world. But yeah, sometimes just something as simple as that. It could be at work. It could be you go inside of a gas station and you go get a bag of chips and a vanilla Coke that's gonna, kill your fucking arteries in 3 years at this rate. You know what? Just as simple as waiting in line, someone behind you, and you can see like they're going through you can see they're just like, they're in a mood. You tell them down, they're like, hey, how are you? You turn around and be like, you doing well today? Now, they may tell you go fuck yourself because you know what? You asked the wrong person. But don't let that person tell you to go fuck yourself when you ask them how their day is to actually just go fuck yourself. You just, I'll just go fuck myself. And then you know what to do to shove in their face? The person that gets behind them, you shove your head around them and be like, hey, how are you today? You know what? You can skip me. You know what? You do like a drive-thru. You know what? I'm going to pay for the person behind me, but not you because you were a cunt. But the person behind you, that was just nice, coming through here, waiting in line just to get the kid a fucking popsicle and get themselves some Swisher rolls. But hey, we all got our problems. But you know what? You pay for that and you skip that person that told you to go fuck yourself and you pass it along. Like those commercials. Those dumb fucking pass it on commercials that's supposed to be, oh, some kid falling off a skateboard. And then there's 3 random kids on the corner pointing and laughing at them. And they're just down on luck. And then there's some girl that's at work with her mom at a convenience store. And she watches as she goes outside. And she has her hands out. And she's like, want to come to the park? Here, you can have my scooter. And we can go together. And she gets her mom to get Band-Aids and alcohol and swabs and stuff, rub the skid marks, and then they start walking to the park, and they pass the 3 kids that were pointing and making laugh at them. And then as they're going off on the sidewalk, the next thing you know, it's a subtitle and caption with the background noise narrated by Samuel L. Jackson or some famous actor, and they're like, generosity, pass it on. It's like, all right, but what are the odds that you're going to fall off in a skateboard in front of a convenience store where there's fucking Band-Aids and there's fucking things that directly fix the issue? And what are the odds that 3 kids are just going to laugh pointing at you? I don't really think a lot of kids just point and laugh at you. I think they may make fun of you, but they may laugh at like, hey man, you need some help? Like kids aren't just sitting there like fucking like codename Kid Next Door and like up in the tree and like, you dirty whore. Like that's not realistic. And it's a commercial. I get it. Generosity, help people, accountability, blah blah blah. They should have like the really NC-17 version of that. It's like some guy walks in on, well, actually, I don't know if I should go down that road, but like in the wake of the Duke Lacrosse thing, it's like a guy walks in on 9 guys in a circle, questionably ramming a girl who's probably drugged. And then they show him stopping it all, beating the fuck up all the dude, getting the girl, put her in a car, dump her in a lake. Nah, I'm kidding. Not dump her in a lake. take her to the hospital, get her checked, and be like, do the right thing. Accountability. Pass it on. Like, they should do more real versions, not these kid YMCA at the fucking YMCA basketball bullshit. Like, this kid packed your shot. Hey, coach, actually, remember that one where it was the basketball. The coach calls a timeout, and the fucking kid is like, coach, my foot was on the line. And then everyone, there's 10 seconds left in the game. If we give him the ball, we're going to lose. And he's like, coach, my foot was on the line. And the coach looks at him, looks at everyone, and he's just like, all right, guys. And then he tells it, and he quote unquote does the right thing. You're like, all right, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to get in a full court press defense tomorrow. We're gonna defend the inbounds and blah blah blah. And then right before they go back in the court, he pulls the kids like, hey, good job. Waves his head. Then the kid goes to the fucking ref, tells the fucking ref like, hey, my foot was on the line. The ref's like, oh, well, since you say so, all right, just change possessions. It's like, even in the NBA, where they have full replay, if you were to tell a ref, hey, actually, ref, be honest, my foot was on the line, they would be like, yeah, I can't trust your word. We're going to have to, but it's like, but the thing I'm telling you is actually not in my favor. They're like, you know what? We don't trust you. Actually, your foot, no, look, half my fucking size 18 foot was on the fucking line. And they're like, nah. We're going to see. It's like, you can't, like, and this was obviously just like a rec league or whatever. So they didn't have instant replay. They didn't have no ref meeting. Like, well, guys, what do we do this guy says? Like, all right, well, fuck it. Is there win-loss column? And then I think they end up, ironically, he makes the game-winning shot and they win type of shit. I could be wrong. Maybe they end up losing and it's like, hey. And then, like, the whole pass it on caption was, honesty, pass it on. It's like, you know what? Every fucking coach and every single person in this world would be like, actually, honesty, 100% of the time, not always the best thing in the world. It's like, hey, it's not your fault they didn't call it. It's not like you viciously took advantage. Yeah, your foot was on the line. Sometimes you're an habitual line stepper. And this, my friend, is why the kid obviously wasn't the best player on the team. Well, I don't know, maybe he was, ratio-wise. But he certainly looked like he knew what the fuck he was doing out there, at least. So, I'm going to assume he had good coordination. But it's like, hey, you know what? Let me ask you something. And he's going to, and I bet you, in that scenario, I bet you some kid tried that in real life. Like 6 months later, after that became a big commercial all over, TV and shit. I'm pretty sure some kid in a game, and then that fucking coach strangled the fuck out of his kid. Like he was shit, what's the fuck? Like Carton, like fucking South Park. Like, Kenny, huh? It's, like fucking, Jesus. Why am I drawing a fucking... You get the reference I'm making. It's like some kid getting strangled in a cartoon for fun. For humor. And I bet the coach just fucking, like, decked that kid. Kind of like that high school player that, like, just decked the ref, like, a year ago. And it was, like, the most... They're going to press charges. Like, I'm pretty sure coach was like, fuck you. And it was probably the coach's son. And I'm pretty sure he told the ref, and the ref's like, yeah, fuck off. You're like, what? Shut up then. Hey, we don't want to change the rule. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. Just play along. As Bugs Bunny would say. Play along. But yeah. Oh, Jesus. Good times. Yeah, gotta love those pass it on commercials. Oh, and I didn't even get the double entendre that. Well, not double entendre, but that was a basketball. It's called Pass It On. But yeah. Yeah. Commercials were so basic, but they were so good back in the day. Now commercials are, one, highly overrated. Now it's more about effects and all this shit. And the thing is, back in the day, it used to be corny, cheesy effects. But the emphasis was on the, whoa, dude, whoa. You want to watch, blah, 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 you want to watch the Olympics, blah, 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 hubba, bubba, tape, oh, oh. And it was cool. Now it's like, everything's got to have this deeper. It's got to be, Now it's like Hubba Bubba commercials. Does your kid have pink hair? Does your kid does he like kissing? things that aren't the opposite sex because we got to prove it's like you're a fucking gum company. Just because people share gums, it's like no 12-year-old out there is doing makeout games where they're switching Hubba Bubba in each other's mouth, or Bubba Tape, or Five Gum, or fucking, Spearmint. You get the fucking drift. And what 13-year-old is popping Dentine ice mints in their fucking mouth? Mints are supposed to be like, well, when I used to think of mints, right? I used to think mints are like mouthwash. You don't do mouthwash when you're like 14 or 15 years old. That's something you're like, senior year of high school, prom night. Might give this a little refresher. It's like, nah. And like mouthwash is something like you start doing like as you kind of get older. Mouthwash is not something you do 11 to 12. Like that's a weird, I don't know. At least I didn't. Yeah. My shiny teeth in me. About chip off the old skylark. Oh, Jesus. But yeah. Like there's progression in mintiness. There's progression in oral refreshments. And by the way, I've never been to, maybe this just shows what type of hotels I've ever stayed at. I've never stayed at a hotel where I've had a mint anywhere in the fucking room. Not just a pillowcase. Not even accidentally they left it in the bathroom by the, mandatory bar soaps they have to hand you. It's like, fuck. We left a fucking red mint. It's like, nah, not even an accidental mint. Most time you're just trying to avoid any type of oral things going in your mouth in those type of places. I'm talking about bed bugs. Yeah, I made a mistake one time in sleeping almost in the nude, just whitey tidies. Don't ask why I was in a hotel. Let's just say we were like Drake on his Thank Me Later album. I was just show me a good time. Yeah, I'm just trying to, impress the ladies. But I woke up and my thigh had a bunch of marks on it. I was like, wow. What a dumbass I am. Thinking in a hotel that I spent $78 on that night, I was going to leave out mark free. And she wasn't even there for more than half the occasion. But hey, don't need to get into that. Fuck me. No one cares. Didn't split the bill because I'm a gentleman. But those bed bugs do not take a gentle, man. But yeah. I've never gotten that type of treatment. And so maybe that's why I don't think like I'm deserving. And I was listening, it's weird because I was listening to Mark Norman, comedian, an old interview he did on Opie and Anthony. I know people are tuning out now, but I'm going to get to the bigger type of thing. And he basically, fast forward, he starts making money in comedy, blah, blah, blah. He has a place in New York. He travels. He's making a shitload of money. He has specials and blah, blah. And he still doesn't have furniture in his house. He has a couple pairs of shoes. He has like 2 pairs of shoes, a couple pair of jackets, a pair of nuts, blah, blah, whatever. He has some hair gel, that's the extent. But even going, like, he'll say when he goes past a smoothie shop and sees people spend $11 on a smoothie, like he'll see like, quote unquote, fat person. He'll be like, what did you do there in that smoothie? But it's really like him. He's like, I don't, I just try to get free food. This is a guy who makes money. Sometimes he even admits he still goes to like Walmart and he'll like steal something small. Because I have a big corporation. Like, so like no matter how much money you get, there's something in you that's like, I'm not deserving of this. Or I'm very judgmental in a weird way. And it all starts from internal childhood, blah, 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 right? And he just, and I think like, I didn't resonate with him completely on everything. I was like, all right, man. Because I'm the opposite. Like, man, if I enjoy something, I'm just going to eat it. I'm not going to feel too guilty about it. It's like, hey, if I can technically pay for it on my debit card, I can afford it. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. But it's this, and obviously, look at me. Obviously, I don't have a problem having a few things I shouldn't or exploiting the options. But, he did. And it's okay. I don't shame him. Yeah, I'm going to move on from that. Don't know the direction I was going there, but I do got that one thing in one direction. Get out of my head. And yeah. Um I don't know if you guys have ever gone to I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a monster truck event, right? I miss it. Once upon a time when I was younger, fun story time. We went to the whole event was we were gonna go. It was my dad, me, and my brother, and this was when I believe this is when the Falcons played in the Georgia Dome. I believe this was like '07, '08, somewhere in that range. I was a young whippersnapper. And this was the day that Michael Vick was, let's just say he was killing it. He had a lot of dogs in this fight, but it was fan. It was a fan event. We're in the Georgia Dome. I think it was like a Saturday or some shit. It was the off season for the Falcons, so it's not like they had a game tomorrow. Like, it was off season. It was a fan event. But Michael Vick was the main attraction. You basically go there, get some autograph, you take pictures, posters. It's something for the family, the dads and the sons. Yeah, football. And we go there and we're waiting out. We're going around the whole they have this whole I don't want to say gallery museum thing, but it's they have this small little tour thing. It's by the city, so we're kind of we did a few things in the city. We eat, then we went there. Far as I can remember. And I think this was not even a year before all the shit with the dog stuff. It may even been that upcoming season when all that shit happened. Yeah, we did all this, and I remember we did all this. I remember it was 3 or 4 o'clock. My dad was fucking pissed. He's like, "Oh, fuck this guy, man. Fuck this guy." So we did all this, and just out of nowhere, he's like, he's not making it today. It's oh, well, that would be going to a Drake concert. At the time, Michael Vick was the biggest thing in fucking sports. That'd be like going to a Drake concert. Hey guys, 20 minutes for sure. Hey guys, I know you paid to see Drake. I know you schedule your whole day just so your kids can go take pictures with Drake. But hey, change of plans. We're gonna have Polo G go out there. Same thing. Same show. None too different. We're going to have Polo G. And he even brought on a second act, Lil Tecca. Woo! And they didn't even have a secondary act come to replace That is not at the time they're hey, we don't want Michael Vick, but you want Algie Crumpler? They didn't even try look, we're not even going to try. We're not even going to try to pretend the Falcons weren't that good at the time. It's what we're going to see? Keith fucking Brooking? No offense to Keith Brooking. Long-time player, successful. But no one was going to see a guy with 4.7 speed make 140 tackles. That's not what we, woke up at 8 a.m. that day, got in the city at 10. That's not what you took your kids to the city for. No offense to Keith Brooking. But I remember then they gave us... if I remember correctly, they're okay, sorry about this. And they gave us access basically to the fanfare thing, which I think was part of the thing. And it was hey, instead of waiting till 5, you guys could just go in there now. And it's these play areas. There's a throw the football, but it's something for kids to do, whatever. It's where it's basically a playground for kids, and the parents just in there my kid, he can't fucking throw. Fuck. And it's just kids play games, they have employees there, everyone's having a good time. And then they throw in complimentary tickets because that night they had the monster truck event. Not motocross. Motocross used to be a big thing when it was Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, all that good shit. Everyone knows about it. You didn't have to be fun. Now I'm thinking about motocross in that day was what UFC is now. Except motocross didn't hold a sustainable business. But it was the UFC of its time frame. Live events and everything. I went to a couple. It was actually pretty cool. Anyways. But we went to the event. And I'm 90% sure I got the facts correct here. But yeah. And they're just here. You know what? Fuck it. Go to the monster truck event tonight. It's at the Dome. It's like literally right next. It's in the Dome. It's actually in the main event area. Go have a good time. Go fuck yourselves. And sorry for the inconvenience. I know you came out here to see Michael Vick leave at 6 o'clock and call it a day, but no, we're going to keep you. You've been in the city since 10 a.m. Why don't you just be here till 10 p.m.? You got kids. It's a school night. Well, it's not a school night. It was Saturday. But, some of y'all go to church. Didn't apply to us. But, hey, that's the excuse we could have used. And, of course, I believe we got, like, free shit. A bunch of free shit. Because my dad's always like, nah, fuck you guys. We're getting more shit out of this. I got to respect it. But, yeah. If I went to go see Michael Vick and I got fucking to see a green fucking monster truck fly in the air to get his struts and towed off the fucking dirt road, yeah, you know what? I kind of have a problem with it too. But you know what? You make the most of it. It's a life lesson. Sometimes you don't enter the presence of things to get what you went for, but sometimes you're left with something more. What do we leave with? I don't know. We left like a poster. Visualizations of big trucks. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, that's my motocross truck story. All because Michael Vick, I'm going to assume was probably going through shit at that time of frame. Excuse me. Jesus. But yeah, it is kind of weird now. You see Michael Vick he's been on like this, not ever since he got out of jail, really got back in the league. And ever since he retired, it's really just been a long redemption. And I think most people forgive him because I think, honestly, most people don't care about animals the way they do. And I'm not, by the way, it's not right what happened. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he shouldn't have served his time and all that shit. All I'm saying is, I'm just going to say, I don't think a lot of people care for animals, no matter how obsessed or personally obsessed they pretend to be about them. But my personal view. But it's weird how there's been this complete, and I'm sure he's changed his life and all that shit. But every time I see, he's redeemed it, and every time, and I don't hold it against him he's young. But I was saying, I wonder if all the fathers that took their kids to see him that day, they see all this shit and they're like, all right, but you know what? Even though the kids at the time were like 9 years old, I know all of them are like 28, but you know what? Maybe it should be, hey, on that faithful day in 2007, if you tried to take your kid to this fan event, it could be like one of those lawyer commercials. If you were exposed to asbestos and mesothelioma in the bombing of Syria, you are entitled to $38 million. It'd be like, if you can prove you went to this May 7th event in 2007 to this fan event where you took your kids to see Michael Vick and he backed out at the last minute, you are entitled to another fan event that he will actually be there this time. And it'd be like those videos on YouTube where there's pictures where like a parent and a kid take a picture every year for like 50 years to show the gradual change in who they are. It'd be like everyone shows up and it's just a bunch of angry 26-year-olds like, well, I don't want you now. You can't run. You're washed up. You're retired for 7 years. Like, couldn't even bring my dog to this event because, you got to keep your distance, apparently. I don't even think he could own an animal for like the rest of his life. I don't even think he basically, obviously nowhere near being a child, but basically he has to go by like child predator laws, but with animals. He can't even own an animal. He can't even live within 8 miles of a dog kennel type of shit. He can't even live within 4 miles of a vet. I'm pretty sure there's some weird shit about that, in case he gets the urge to just fucking have dogs eat the shit out of each other. Which I don't think he has a weird urge for that. I think it was just all money and upbringing and stuff. Animals weren't looked in such a light. They were just like, get them. But yeah, I wonder if they would do that. Like, hey, Woody's Roundup back to the Georgia Dome because, it's pretty useless for everything else now. Well, I think now they call it Mercedes-Benz. Well, no, because they're two different stadiums. They actually built a fucking Mercedes-Benz. I've never been in Mercedes-Benz. From what I heard, it's a pretty cool facility. And it's like unlimited refills for $3. It's weird how it took these stadiums a long time, but like, you know what? Just fill up your own shit. Here's a flat rate. Like the soda we're going to fucking give you anyways. Flat. Jesus. But, yeah. Because guess what? I would make time to go. I would take off for work and do it. It would be important to me. And you know, obviously, it was more, I wasn't like, oh, Michael Vick is my favorite player. But it was cool. Like, he's your hometown quarterback. He's your hometown superstar athlete. Like, it's like, yeah, woo, Michael Vick, you're young. You see a guy running fast. You see a guy making plays, changing. Like, he has all this superstar power. But I also think the comeback redemption story has kind of overridden a lot of stuff that happened during that time frame and how he treated the Falcons and the fan base type of thing. And I'm not in the athletes owe anything, anyone type of shit. Oh, by the way, Baker Mayfield. I don't understand I'm getting off social media for the foreseeable future because it's toxic. It's like, I hate to break it to you. When I hear the word foreseeable future, I think of, okay, someone's just saying that for an indefinite amount of time, but one day they're going to come back. Like, it's not necessarily set in stone, but it's like, just for now, I'm getting off. Isn't it kind of weird how you make a social media post about how you're getting off the same thing you're making a post on? Heavily ironic. But I hate to break it to you. In a year or two, social media is not going to be any better. It's probably going to be worse. I don't think when people say they're really committed to actually get rid of it, I think they just want to commercialize. They just want to see what they want to see. If it's that bad, then get rid of it. I don't go on Instagram. I don't really go on social media at all. And for me, it's just like, I realize like it's a lot of wasting time personally. And, you know, you can see things. You can come across stories, a constant algorithm shit where it's like, this shit can like fuck up an hour of your day just by seeing something, thinking, getting angry with this. But it's just like, I don't understand the foreseeable future part. If you're going to leave, then just quit. If it's bad for you, it's bad for you. Why does someone have a hard time just getting rid of something? And for people to say, oh, well, he could have sponsors or brand deals that he promotes on there. It's like, okay, then don't say you're quitting it. You could just you literally pay someone to run your account and post this for an ad read or whatever the fuck. And you don't have to read this shit. But I understand, like, people are coming after his wife, like, you know, death threats, and that shit's ridiculous. It's uncalled for and all. But what I'm saying is, when people are like, I'm going to quit, it's like, then quit. Like, no one's out here tracking if you're on Instagram. No, it's like, you think, like, that's not the reason why you are or not doing good, or whatever you're trying to say this is holding you back in. Maybe it's a distraction, which if it's a distraction, then do what you gotta do to not be on it. Delete the account, you know, take it off your phone, do what you have to do. I'm an advocate of that. What I'm not is blaming, I'm getting off it for the foreseeable future. You know what, man? If you are going to take indefinite time off something, you probably don't need it. It's probably bad for you. And there's no foreseeable future. It's just like, it's not in it. I'm getting rid of it. It's not important. Andrew Luck did it. And he quit football because the team didn't want to actually, you know, block for him and shit. And by the time they figured that shit out, the man was losing hair, fucking hurt all the time, wearing gray shirts with fucked up shoulders. And now you look at him a couple weeks ago, national championship game, the dude fucking is like 195 pounds. He's still looking pretty good shape. He looked like he grew his hair back. It's crazy. Like, the stress of what he was doing. literally, you look at when he was at the stadium at Lucas, and everyone basically found out at the same time that he was retiring while he's on the side. Like, the dude looked like he aged like 12 years in 3 years. The hair was leaving. He had a bunch of surgeries. He's hurt. He's probably going through a bunch of shit. because it's very tedious. It's a hard process, but the man is losing hair at the time. Then you seen a couple weeks, he was like energized, and he's like, right, everyone have fun, right, Kurt, and he's got a full set of hair, and it didn't look unnatural. That's why that stress thing is real. And I just think with Baker's, all right, man, like I don't have anything. I'm not even holding this past season really against him. He was hurt and shit. But at the same time, like, I'm not a big fan of people like making announcements of things that they say they're gonna stop doing on the thing that they're gonna stop doing it on. Because if you really just wanted to quit you wouldn't make an announcement. You would just do it. Because let me tell you, if Baker Mayfield were to quit and delete his Twitter account tomorrow or his Instagram, no one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do without a Baker Mayfield update?" It's like, oh, all right. I mean, that's weird. It's like, it's a little odd. It's not like, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? It's like, I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, do what you gotta do. Really, if anyone deletes their Twitter, Instagram, it's like, it shouldn't be this big announcement. It's like, oh, okay. He did what he wanted to do, had to do, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Foreseeable future? I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, I think I'm gonna cap it off there. That was episode 102 of the Off and Beat podcast with Clint Nelson. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and suck some titties. Hopefully the audio is okay because I tried a new angle, different mic position if you get my swinging dick drift. And like and subscribe. Yeah, keep the views. Well, not really the views, more of the listens. And listen, hope you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, have a great day. And fuck your mustard. I mean, seriously, fucking mustard in the fucking fridge. Jesus fucking Christ. You can't make this shit up. What is wrong with people?